Okay, now let's go back to the consent calendar. And we had speakers on consent calendar number 5 and number 11. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and are they the same speaker?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be, I'm presuming that's Mr. Jacobs?
Correct.
Okay, all right, so let's have Mr. Jacobs come on up. And you know, Mr. Jacobs, the rules allow me to give you 3 minutes for both, but I like to be liberal, so I'm going to give you 3 minutes for each one. Why don't we start with item number 5?
All right, thank you, Mayor.
And that would be before you start the First Amendment to the agreement with KTU-NA for Phase 1 of the multi-trails use, bikeways, and master plan update.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully you'll restart the clock here. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Paul Jacobs, and I am Temecula's volunteer sidewalk consultant. I really wanted to applaud this effort, but then I read the details of the staff report and the proposed sidewalk analysis. The analysis is inadequate as it considers only a quarter-mile walking distance from schools and public facilities. I walk that far just to avoid my treadmill. A proper analysis would include destination points to assess where people will walk to and from. If a sidewalk ends a half a mile from a school and fails to connect to a sidewalk to a nearby housing development, this methodology will fail to address the actual need to fill the missing sidewalk gaps. I really am glad the city is finally investing some resources into this important facet of public safety. But to limit the analysis to within 1/4 of a mile from schools and other facilities is to miss the bigger picture of having complete linkages. Just as this firm is doing for bike lanes and trails. I understand why this attention to pedestrian safety was somewhat buried in the agenda and why the mayor didn't phone reporter Aaron Clavery to write about this item. It is embarrassing that this council and city management has neglected filling the missing sidewalk linkages for 2 full decades. Please do not accept the limited scope of this sidewalk gap analysis that fails to actually analyze the sidewalk gaps they are being paid to study. I suggest the criteria in box 2 should be rewritten to something like develop GIS-based sidewalk/path analysis between schools, park, transit, community and recreation centers, retail, residential, and other applicable activity locations without the quarter-mile limit on the study. You might need to renegotiate the contract, but if taxpayers are going to pay for a sidewalk analysis, it should be a thorough assessment and not just political gimmickry. The city has not been serious about pedestrian safety for 20 years, and I'm afraid that this public safety issue is still not being taken seriously. Before the city approves the next 20,000 dwelling units, please fulfill your duty of responsibility to existing Temecula residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. And while you're there, please feel free to stay at the podium for item number 11, award of construction contract for the city-wide concrete repairs fiscal year 2013-14, Public Works 13-05.
Thank you, staff and citizens. My name is still Paul Jacobs. Unpaid, and I might add unappreciated sidewalk consultant. I have put considerable time and effort into this review. I will start by noting that the bidding process produced just one qualified bidder. This is because the city provides only 24 hours for a company to post bond once the bid has been posted on Planet Bids. The bid process appears designed to limit the number of qualified bidders. I reviewed the concrete repair list for my neighborhood and produced the following report for you. The most frequent sidewalk problem appears to be from the sidewalk lifting up along the curb. In these cases, the actual walking surface of the sidewalk poses no tripping hazard, and the likelihood of tripping over the raised curb edge is minimal. Replacing the entire sidewalk seems like overkill, and I question if less expensive remedies such as grinding or patching the concrete have been considered. These photos show that a surprising number of sidewalk sections slated for repair have been previously repaired. Concrete is supposed to last a very long time, and nobody on the staff or council is questioning why the previous repairs did not hold up. I found numerous locations slated for sidewalk repair where there is no apparent need. Is there no oversight on these projects? If this is just a giveaway of Temecula tax dollars, please just cut the contractor a check and save the residents the noise and inconvenience of unnecessary sidewalk repairs. Obviously, there are areas that need sidewalk repair, if not replacement. Some areas are scheduled for unnecessary sidewalk repair, and many areas have a questionable need for repair, whether they made the repair list or not. I did a partial review of only one of the 5 repair list areas, but if my findings are indicative of the rest of the list, considerable city resources and tax dollars are being squandered for unneeded concrete replacement. The 24-hour clock on the bidding process is as bizarre as some of the unnecessary and redundant sidewalk repairs you are being asked to approve. The repair criteria is arbitrary. I respectfully request the repair list be reassessed and that the project be rebid to include multiple contractors in a fair and open process. Thank you.
Thank you. And
I'm providing copies
Thank
of
you,
my
Mr.
2
Jacobs.
reports. Thank you.
Thank you. You can give them to the city clerk. Mr. Wayne Hall. The last and best, sir.